Actually, maybe like 10 or 11. Hi everybody, this is Atzael-Media, and today I just wanted to do something a bit different. I wanted to do a bit of a review on a novel by Stephen King. Now, I'm not the type of person really, at least for this YouTube account, to make book reviews. However, my goal here is to just give my perspective on a book that I really appreciated. And so I may do this a few times in my channel. You might see it in the future. We'll see. We're going to test this out because I'm not used to this, I guess. And so, alright, today we're going to be reviewing The Stand. So, The Stand, in my opinion, is an absolutely insane concept. Now, it has a wild plot all over the place in some cases, which, depending on how you manage it, I feel like what can either make or break a novel. Now, while simultaneously, it's like a deep-rooted concept. It seems to be polarizing, for a lack of a better word, if that makes sense. However, this adventure was very luscious. The writing, like it's almost alive in its own way. Like the book comes to life. And I don't know if that's the writing. I don't know if it's the story as a whole. I don't know if I reflect back and think to myself like maybe this is it just sits in its own category because of how real it feels. Whatever it is, due to the multiverse that Stephen King has created, it leaks in these pages, so it's very biblically inspired, which you will get from a lot of magical realism. You'll get from a lot of high fantasy or high fiction, if that makes sense. Now, the old lady, I feel like, is like a deep meditation, of biblical prophecy, and its usage of biblical language, using timestamps without ever really using actual yearly dates. The writing can be straightforward and blunt at times, but also Stephen King, he uses a lot of vulgar language. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's see. I don't know if I can give you an example. I don't know if I can right now, but to be honest with you, it's more of an epic story told. The way he writes it is interesting because it doesn't feel like a forced narrative. It's just weird. It's hard to explain it, but he's able to balance perspectives well and balance narration well with that. Now, like this, for instance, his uses of biblical language, using timestamps without ever really using actual yearly dates. An epic story of biblical proportion taken control by Stephen King, in my opinion. And his take of the end of days. The pacing was masterful, with the extended edition having beautiful black and white illustrations. And the ending being the last page being a big reveal for something big in Stephen King's multiverse. Overall, I think this novel is it's an excellent, not just meditation, but it's an excellent execution of a biblical form of fiction. It's not really fantasy, but it's like very closely related to the world. And one of the reasons why I want to review this novel is because my novel is similarly to that story. I think The Stand and me, the story that I told, has a similar, because it's biblical. So I just feel like the reason I had to review this is to give my take on one of Stephen King's most respected, profound novels. I think this is probably one of his best works, in my opinion. I haven't read all his books, but I've read a few. I've read quite a few. I'd say maybe like 10 or 11. I can't be sure. Well, yeah, this is your boy Atzael-Media. Peace.